the fry, the calories will die! That was awesome! Headhunter! That was awesome! Headshot! Headhunter! It's time! Time for them to die! Spicy headshot!
The Apple iPod Touch is alive and well with its new refresh in 2019. Well, it's alive for now, at least. I've been performing systematic durability tests on hundreds of portable electronics for the past 4 years.
So apparently if you click
The Apple iPod Touch of portable electronics for the past 4 years. And most of the time, these electronics survive my tests. But some of the time, like with the iPad Pro, they, don't survive. It's time to see what happens with this dainty-feeling, bright pink 2019 iPod Touch. This video is sponsored by ExpressVPN. Let's get started. You might be thinking to yourself, who needs an iPod Touch? I imagine Apple made this for people who don't want to pay for a monthly cell phone plan and are usually still surrounded by Wi-Fi, or for parents who want to communicate with their kids for cheap. Since the iPod Touch starts at $200, it's a much better bargain than the $1,000 iPhones. My Moe's Mineral Picks can tell the difference between plastic, glass, and sapphire. And during the scratch test on this 4-inch display, we start seeing scratches at a level 6 with deeper grooves at a level 7. On par with the latest iPhones that are using tempered glass displays. That means that the front camera up here is going to be protected from scratches, all 1.2 megapixels of it. You heard that right, 1 whole megapixel. It's nice to see Apple competing with the flip phones of 2004. There is a plastic physical clicky home button, which is nostalgically refreshing. No complaints here. There is no earpiece though. Apple has to keep at least some separation between the iPod Touch and the iPhones because they both literally do the same things. You can add your own microphone and earpiece with the headphone jack, which is back. Thumbs up for that. It's super interesting that even though Apple tried watering down the iPod Touch as much as possible, this $200 device still does 90% of what a full-fledged $1,000 iPhone can do. Even the design is all metal, with Wi-Fi phone calling through the headphones, FaceTime, social media messaging, and full-fledged Wi-Fi internet access on the iPod Touch. I could totally see this $200 device being used as a daily driver. The only thing you'd lose out on is the physical phone calls, but those are all robo-spam anyway. The rear camera isn't half bad with its 8 megapixel sensor, protected by a minor metal camera bump. Apple's not advertising sapphire protection this time around, which is refreshing, since their attempt at sapphire is, well, an attempt. I have another cool sapphire video coming out soon, so make sure you're subscribed for that. It looks like this lens has the same scratches at levels 6, 7, and 8, like we've seen on the other iPhones and sapphire version of the Apple Watch. It's the same weird hybrid material that Apple always uses. The pink anodized coloring of the 2019 iPod Touch is pretty brilliant. Pink is actually one of the most calming colors. Some jail cells in Switzerland are even painted pink in order to calm the inmates down. Kinda crazy. There are quite a few flowers that are also pink, including the beautiful roses. One thing you might not know though is that roses, if the flowers aren't picked early, actually have little fruits that grow underneath the flower called hips, rose hips. And the hips are totally edible. Full of vitamin C, they make all kinds of rose-flavored products, including rose hip syrup. I haven't tried rose-flavored syrup before, but now I totally want to. The secret to rose hip syrup is to start up a flame and boil equal weight of rose hips and sugar in water until the right consistency is reached. Just make sure you don't burn anything. The 326 pixel per inch display of the iPod Touch, which is the same pixel density of the $800 iPhone XR, but who's keeping track? It took about 12 seconds to go black from my flame, but being an LCD it did fully recover. The pixels all eventually came back to life. Minus the evaporated oleophobic anti-fingerprint coating, of course. It's time for the bin test, the ultimate test of construction and build quality. Remember, most phones survive this test just fine. I'll start from the back, and with a subtle flex, with no noises or cracks, The first bend of the iPod Touch absolutely destroys the display underneath the glass. There's no external damage, but the internal damage is catastrophic. The screen is broken and the device is unresponsive. Even the power button is not working anymore. This particular bend wasn't even that drastic compared to what other phones and tablets go through during my tests. I'll bend one more time from the front. Everything is still structurally intact. No cracks on the glass or kinks in the metal frame, but the iPod Touch is still dead. It has a flaw internally that would you get one? Let me know down in the comments.
You already pay for car insurance. Why not take your home along for the ride?
So apparently if you click on this guy's Instagram story, your phone stops working. But that's obviously not true. Oh, This has been the reaction of tens of thousands of people over the last week after their smartphone crashed because of an Instagram story. And the internet is going crazy about it. There are articles, news stories, people have made guides on how to get around it, and Twitter is full of people who have either just fallen victim to it, people who don't believe it and are about to fall victim to it, or people planning out long-term strategies to get victims to fall for it. But some friends and I decided to make this our life's mission, and we figured out what, who, how, and why, and we've kind of managed to recreate it. Here is the top level summary. There is an account called PG Talal. He has two main Instagram stories on his page, and if you click them, you will have a wildly different experience depending on what kind of device you're on. On Android phones, you'll see a plain purple screen with confetti, and you'll hear this song called Your Love, which, this Instagram story, it's almost like this person is taking control over your phone. But then, if you click the same Instagram story on an iPhone, oh dear. You'll see a grey screen with what looks like Arabic text, and your phone will become completely unresponsive. I had so many questions, like how can an Instagram story have this much power? Why does it look like two different things depending on what phone you're using? And what is he trying to do here? This doesn't feel like just harmless fun. Is he hacking people? Is he stealing people's details? Is he trying to take down Instagram? We had to find out. Now, you might remember the video I made about that wallpaper that crashed people's phones if they applied it. And in that video I came to the conclusion that it was an accident. Someone had taken a photo and accidentally edited it in a way that causes phones to die. But is it just me, or does this one feel like it's on purpose? I mean, look at his profile. This Talal guy isn't trying to hide these stories. If anything, he's proudly inviting people to click them. He's posted updates about how many views the stories have gotten, like it's some sort of trophy. He's created new crashes since those two original ones, which I'll get to. Plus, if anyone can pull something like this off, it's a full stack developer, which this guy's claiming to be. AKA someone who can build both the front end and the back end of a piece of software. AKA someone who knows what they're doing. I'm not criticizing, I mean, he's created this thing, people are fascinated by it, it makes total sense for him to try and grow from it. He's actually become one of the fastest growing new accounts on Instagram, with his one and only main feed post hitting 2 million views before he deleted it. But the point is, this crash ain't no accident. So, to try and figure out what on earth was going on here, I had to look at all the information available. There was not a lot. Talal has no profile picture, most of the text is in Arabic. The one post he did have was a weird compilation of Monica from Friends, also with an Arabic caption, and the only personal things I could find about him were his personal account, which is private, and his TikTok account, which is literally just him focusing back and forth on the letter N. Like I said, not a lot to work with. But I thought, okay, the one thing that I can do right off the bat is to use Google Lens to translate all of this Arabic text. Turns out the caption on his post just redirects people to his personal account, and the captions on the stories that are crashing phones just translate to nice thing I passed and bittersweet thing, which wasn't quite as enlightening as I'd hoped. But then I had an idea. I thought the next best thing if I can't find any data was to create the data. So with a heavy heart, I took out one phone after the next, installed Instagram on them, visited these stories, and monitored in both horror and fascination what was happening to each. It felt like sending my babies off to torture. But I did learn something interesting. The general consensus online has been, if you have an iPhone, steer clear. But if you have an Android, you're good. That's not true. Because yes, if I view this story on a super modern Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra with 16 gigs of RAM and the latest version of Android, it is fine. If I try to view it on... That doesn't have Instagram stories. Get that? But if I try viewing it on a mid-range Nokia phone from a few years ago, it's definitely struggling with something. Not the only thing Nokia's been struggling with recently. And if I then just try it on a really cheap old Android phone, it will crash. And it will crash badly. When I tried it, it wouldn't even open the Instagram story, and from the moment I clicked it, the phone couldn't do anything. None of the buttons worked, the screen didn't work, I got a pop-up saying the whole system is unresponsive, but I couldn't act on it, because the system was unresponsive. This video, I swear, has been borderline traumatic to make, but if you are enjoying it, then a sub to the channel would be therapeutic. So we've got 3 groups of Android phones here. The most powerful ones are fine, the middle ones struggle but make it through eventually, and the weak ones die. So at this point I thought, oh, of course, the reason phones are crashing is that he's done something to this story that means it requires a lot of processing power or RAM to run. I never want to hear this song again. Stop! And that would also kind of explain why pretty much all iPhones were crashing, because even the highest end iPhones right now are capped at 6GB of RAM. I knew I was on the right track, but I wasn't quite there yet. So I did what any brave soldier would do. Yeah, I asked other people. I basically assembled the Tech Avengers. I reached out to iOS developers, XDA developers, Java and Flutter developers, Android experts like Gary explains, and my number one go-to on this was Anane, who's a cybersecurity researcher at Arizona State University. And we have some answers. Okay, so the best way to understand why an Instagram story is causing phones to crash is to understand what is in that Instagram story. And as it turns out, it's a bit more than just those Arabic characters you can see. So what Anane was showing me is that if you go onto Instagram via the web and you delve into the Inspect tab, you can see all of the raw data behind every post and every story on any profile. I feel like that's a full video there just on the amount of data being collected, but the surprising thing for the purposes of this video is what we found when we inspected PG Talal's Instagram stories. So you might know that Instagram has these stickers that you can add, like a poll or a question or a countdown.
D Express train.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
155th. Brooklyn bound.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Friday night yet.
Three, two, one, go! 3, 2, 1, go!
Whip it. Twist.
Three, two, one, go! 3, 2, 1, go! 3, 3, 2, 1, go!
On a Friday night yet. Getting freaky on a Friday night yet.
3, 2, 1, go! 3, 2, 1, go! 3, 2, 1, go! Left, right, left, right. That's how you do it. Up, down, up, down. That's how you do it. Left, up, down, right. Down, down, up. Down, down, right. Down, up, right. 3, 2, 1, go! Three, two, one, go!
Once upon a time, in a faraway land called Washington Heights. Say it so it doesn't disappear.
Washington Heights.
Lights up on Washington Heights, up at the break of day. I wake up and I got this little punk I gotta chase away. Pop the grate at the crack of dawn, sing while I wipe down the awning.
Hey, y'all, good morning.
Ice cold piragua, cherry, strawberry, and just for today, I got my mate.
It's a story of a block that was disappearing.
The genius is back.
Yo, here's your chance, ask her out right now. Hey!
There's something on your shirt.
Smooth operator, all damn.
We all had a sueñito. And when it came to dreams, we had to keep scraping by.
Maybe this neighborhood's changing forever. Maybe tonight is our last night together, however.
I just want to see the whole world through her eyes.
They're talking about kicking out all the dreamers. It's time to make some noise. We had to assert our dignity in small ways.
Do you have what it takes? Spicy headshot! Headless bozo! They didn't even see that coming! Ha! They didn't even see that coming! Ha! useless bozo! Hey, you're better than that! That was awesome! According to my calculations, that person bit the dust! Headshot! Spicy headshot! Headhunter! Headhunter! Headshot! Spicy headshot! That was awesome! Spicy headshot! That was awesome! That was awesome! Spicy headshot! Endless bozo! According to my calculations, that person bit the dust! That was awesome! That was excellent! Who will stop you now? It's time for the slaughter, eh?